My name is Max, and I graduated from BASc in 2016. Since then, I've been working for a space industry startup called Blue Sky Space. And to give a bit of context, what the company is aiming to do is launch a series of small, cost-effective space missions for astrophysics research. Basically, there is a huge demand for new space data, and our first mission, our flagship mission, is called the Twinkle space mission. Quite a cutesy name. But what it's going to do is look at the atmospheres of exoplanets. So that's any planet outside our own solar system. And what we will do is, it's called spectroscopy. Basically, you look at the atmosphere of the planet, you look at the spectrum that comes out of it, the spectrum of light, and then from that you can figure out its composition. Also its temperature, and if you look at that over a long period of time, you can start to look at the weather and climate patterns on the planet. If there's life, you could detect that. So this mission is launching in 2022, and what we're doing in advance of the mission is talking to scientists around the world to see who's interested, first of all, in using this facility, what kind of science would they like to do, and how much money can they give us, basically? Because the mission is funded by its users. So different universities or space agencies around the world can buy hours on the satellite in advance before it's launched. It's not even built yet, so before it's constructed. And then those hours are guaranteed when the mission does launch in 2022, assuming nothing goes wrong, then they get to use the spacecraft. That's how it works. So my job is, I'm the Senior Business Development Manager. Basically, I'm trying to raise money for the mission and grow our worldwide user base. Find more people who want to give us money to use the mission. So how I got into that from BASc is very direct. I did the knowledge economy module in my final year, where you have to do a consultancy project for a real life company. I think it had to be an SME, if I remember correctly.
One or two corporates, because people want to go on the whole charities or
something. Okay. So anyway, my group, we got matched with this company that I now work for, Blue Sky Space. Basically, we did a market research consultancy project with them to assess the demand in the US market for a proposed space mission looking to do infrared spectroscopy of exoplanets, so the mission that we're now working on. So we made this consultancy report for them. What we did was interview scientists in the US. We basically sent out mass emails. So first we did desk research to figure out, okay, who are relevant scientists at universities in the US who might be interested in a mission like this. Then we emailed them to see who wanted to do a quick interview with us. And then we did like a 10-minute interview with, I think, 20 scientists to ask them, so what kind of facilities are you currently using? What kind of funds do you have? What kind of science are you interested in? To see if this kind of mission is something they would actually use and pay for. So obviously we found good results. There is a huge demand.
An amazing pricing thing. Was that your
project? Which we've thrown out, but it was good. It was good. So we found that there was demand for the mission, and the company actually hired our group to do some freelance work over the next couple of months after the knowledge economy course ended, because they wanted a bit more data. So we did some more interviews, and then after the conclusion of that, we gave them our final report, and they said, we've been really impressed with the work that you did. We have a job opportunity opening, and you guys should interview. So then I interviewed and got the job, and actually so did one of my friends from the group as well, a girl called Meki. She also interviewed, and in the end they decided to give both of us the job, because they thought, why not hire two people? We don't know how many people we'll need yet, why not hire both and see how it goes.
Can I just say, Meki's now doing a PhD in theoretical physics, isn't she? So she's got a different route. Yeah.
Meki is now doing a PhD in gravitational waves.
That's right.
Yes, using LIGO. So yeah, she's gone the academic route, and I've stayed on the business side.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks very much.
I did think of something quick to add. So people have been talking about how BASc helped them get into it or helped them in their career. And the thing where it's helped the most for me has certainly been knowing that you can go into a field that you don't know much about, and you can be confident enough that if you try really hard to learn about it, in a year, in a couple of years, you'll be able to talk coherently with people who are at the very top of the field. So you just have, I guess it gave me the confidence to know that even if I know nothing about a topic, I can jump into it, try really hard, and I will eventually pick it up and learn it.
Cool.
So it's helped a lot with that.
Great, thank you.
How do you go about, how did you go about sort of learning the ropes, as it were? Because, obviously, there's a lot of specialist knowledge which you presume you have to pick up. Did you bring it up just from your team, or did you go and find resources elsewhere?
So a few different ways. I mean, the head of the mission gave us, Meki and I, like a 2-hour presentation, run through of the kind of science she does, with a Q&A session. We work alongside, so the CEO of the company was a postdoc who'd done a PhD in this particular area, and we've sat by him every day. I've sat by him every day for the past 2.5 years. So every question I have, I ask him. I pester him incessantly with science questions. So that's partly how I've learned. Also just being thrown in at the deep end in conferences. So I started the job in June 2016, and in July they sent me to a conference in Australia to talk to scientists there and try and get them excited about Twinkle.
You were like 22, right, at that point, is that?
Yeah, 22 I think. Just, yeah, 22 in 3 months. So they sent me right over, and when you go to conferences, obviously you hear about all the latest things that are going on in the field. I have quite a bad memory, so I take notes. I take extremely extensive notes. So I sat in on these conferences. I went to probably 6 or 7 in the first year alone, and made notes at all the talks I went to. So I never looked at the notes ever again, really, but it definitely helped me to absorb all the information, and by now I can give a seminar about it without any problems. I certainly couldn't do any actual research, but I can at least talk about the research.
Do you remember the interactive expertise stuff I used to talk about? Did you suffer that? No.
I don't remember that sort of
That's exactly what that is. But anyway, it's probably fed in somewhere back there.
Yeah.
Have you considered staying in the field, or what would have happened if you'd taken another career opportunity?
Well, so
Do you want to see it to mission, actually? 'Cause it's quite cool that you stuck
I
with this
do.
time. It's not that far away now, is it? But
I don't live my life on such long time scales.
No, it's tricky.
The mission's due for launch in 2022.
2.5 years.
And it's a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I'll be at that time, but I would ideally like to see it through to the mission end, or at least see it launched, I want to see it succeed. So as I was saying to Patrick, the other path I was thinking of going down, I really enjoyed energy systems, did my dissertation on that area. I was thinking about doing a master's in that. So if I hadn't gotten this job, I guess that might be what I would be doing now. Who knows?
But you're happy enough in it at the moment, so that's kind of the job for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
Just
amazing.
take it a few months at a time. As long as I'm enjoying it and still learning, then I'll keep doing it.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks so much.